Coming up on COS Now, Elon Musk, a chainsaw, and convention of states. Eye-catching billboards near Tesla's Gigafactory are turning heads, and big names like Ben Shapiro and Chip Roy are spreading the message. Could Elon be next? Plus, major legislative moves. New Hampshire advances COS, Kansas takes center stage, and South Dakota falls short in a tough vote. And COS is making headlines nationwide. Mark Meckler joins Texas Public Policy Foundation, Steve Deace has a message for state legislators, and grassroots teams are making an impact. All that and more on COS Now.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
Welcome to another episode of COS Now. I'm your host, Rachel Martin, and on this show, we break down all the latest news in the Convention of States movement. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss any upcoming content that we have for you guys. And just as a reminder, we're active across all social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and Rumble, so be sure to check those out. Is that Elon Musk wielding a chainsaw? Driving through Austin, Texas, you might notice this eye-catching billboard encouraging Elon Musk to support Convention of States. Courtesy of Convention of States Foundation, the area surrounding Tesla Gigafactory is presently graced by several billboards and digital trucks featuring the head of Doge brandishing a chainsaw against the administrative state. Yesterday, COS President Mark Meckler posted photos of these billboards on X. Ben Shapiro and Chip Roy then reposted those images, racking up thousands of views. You can repost the message from Mark Meckler's X account above. We could be just one post away from catching Elon Musk's attention, and yours could be the one that makes it happen. U.S. Senator Rick Santorum led a red-hot team of COS activists testifying before a committee of the New Hampshire legislature, and he even attracted attention of local media.
As a former presidential candidate, Rick Santorum knows New Hampshire likes to be out in front in national politics. He's encouraging that spirit to get behind an Article 5 Convention of States, a never-before-used constitutional authority he says would allow state legislatures to check the power of the federal government by proposing constitutional amendments.
You know that Washington is on a crash course, whether it's financially or whether it's the tyranny that we're seeing candidly from both parties.
On Friday, that committee voted to advance COS to the full New Hampshire House of Representatives for debate by a vote of 10-7. The Kansas Senate Committee of Federal and State Affairs heard public testimony on SCR 1604, COS Action's application for an Article 5 convention. We expect action to be taken in the coming days. On Tuesday, we received unfortunate news. The South Dakota House had a chance to make their state the 20th state to join our movement, but they declined to do so by a vote of 29-38. Here's South Dakota Representative Taylor Rayfeld injecting some common sense into this debate.
We can talk about being fearful of the convention process, but my question today is, why are we not fearful of what's going on in our country at this moment? I just Googled how much debt we have. In January 2025, the national debt is $36.2 trillion. And that's not the only problem. Why do we have people serving for 59 years, 51 years, longer than I've been alive?
Despite this setback, we want to give a huge shout out to the South Dakota team and all their tireless work and activism. And with that brings us to the final 5 highlights. COS President Mark Meckler sat down with our friends at Texas Public Policy Foundation to discuss COS on their podcast.
We have over 250,000 activists, people who've signed our petition in the state. What's going on right now in Texas is there is an expiration of the application that the Texas legislature made in 2017. This is the year that will expire. And our argument is that liberty never expires. It would be really embarrassing, actually, for Texas if this were to expire. Oklahoma had one of these expirations. They removed it and repassed the application cleanly. Missouri had one. They removed it and passed the application cleanly. I was just in Nebraska. Nebraska passed their application very recently. They're removing their expiration right now. For Texas to backslide would be terrible, and the people of Texas want to step forward and stay in the forefront of this movement to call a Convention of States.
On Wednesday night, #1 best-selling author, Blaze TV host, and official COS endorser Steve Deace joined this month's edition of COS at Home, and he had strong words for state legislators considering Convention of States.
Steve, do you have a message for any of the legislators that are still considering our resolution? What would that message be?
I kind of think every situation is an excuse to play offense in general. I mean, that's just a life philosophy of mine. Solve your problems with aggression. go big or go home. That's just kind of what I do. And at any particular point in time, when people get out of line, there are protections and provisions provided in our Constitution for the people to essentially take their belt off and say to the government, this is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. And if you don't take advantage of this moment, then the time will come when it'll be very obvious we need something like this, and then you won't be able to get it. Because it's so obvious that you need something like this, the system won't give it to you.
The Montana and Idaho teams reported on their Capitol Day events. You can get the full stories at conventionofstates.com/blog. Last week, episode 2 of the Story of series premiered. Get the behind-the-scenes scoops on how Texas became the 11th state to join the Convention of States movement. You can do so by subscribing to Convention of States on Rumble and YouTube. Finally, check out these snapshots from recent COS events, including Minnesota, Illinois, South Dakota, Florida, and Hawaii. And that's all for this week's recap. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you same time next week here on COS Now.